Hey guys, Wayne and Tom here, fresh out of our first webinar, and it was a success. It was our first time doing a webinar, so there were a few hiccups, like talking for 10 minutes before actually starting the webinar.
And that feedback loop is
The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Did the broadcast just start for you, Tom? I just got a notification that broadcast started. Let's hope that it started 10 minutes ago when we started talking.
But apart from that small hiccup, things went pretty smooth. Here's the replay.
Well, first of all, welcome to the webinar, everybody. We actually thought we had started the webinar and we talked for literally 10 minutes. So that's what happens if you run your first webinar and you don't really know what you're doing. You're going to run into problems like that, but that's okay, isn't it? I guess we'll start again, Tom.
Yep, we will start again. We'll try and pick up the pace on it this time so that we don't run out of time. So, first of all, I'm Tom and Wayne is next to me. We're both from the Noble Samurai support team. You may have already dealt with us when you're submitting tickets or you're interacting with us on social media. We wanted to run a webinar so that we could connect with you guys and go over some of the feedback that you've been sending in. And also give you some tips and tricks on how to use Content Samurai so you can get the most out of it. So over the next 30 minutes, we'll be going over some of the upcoming features that are in the pipeline at the moment. We've got some really exciting mock-ups to show you. Wayne will be showing you some keyboard shortcuts to get the most out of the app. So he'll be showing you how to use keyboard shortcuts to format the slides, to record the audio, and also when it comes time to adjusting the synchronization at the end, there's a bunch of keyboard shortcuts that will help you speed up the process of getting videos out, and they are awesome. We'll also be doing a Q&A at the end, so if you do have any questions as we're going along that you want to ask us, try and save them for the end. If you type them into the question box that you guys have been chatting into, we'll circle back at the end for the last 10 minutes and we'll get back to you there. A couple of things, we will be recording this webinar, so if there is anything that you missed that you want to watch again because you didn't quite understand it, we'll be sending out a video as soon as we can after this webinar to get you a replay, and we'll also be
covering any questions that we can't answer during, because if we can't answer everyone's questions in the question and answer section, we'll include them in the chopped up video that we send a link out to, which will hopefully be today, but I don't know, we've never done this before, so we don't know how long it's going to take to edit.
Yeah, a little bit of housekeeping.
Did you cover everything?
There's one more.
Okay.
The other one is, even though we work in support, we're trying not to make this webinar about technical support issues. So if you are having any problems with the app, please send them through to support@contentsamurai.com. and we will get back to you as soon as we can, but we're trying to keep this webinar something different to support. So we're trying to give you guys some tips and tricks and show you some new features that are coming out. We don't have the time to answer technical support questions about how to reset passwords and stuff like that. But if you send us an email at support@contentsamurai.com, we'll get back to you as soon as we can after this. Okay.
All right. Thank you very much. Over to me. All right. Yeah, that was good. A little bit of deja vu, but that's all right. Okay, so rolling on to the next section here, which is the content section. This section was made because of all the features you guys suggested, really. I mean, we've heard some really great features over the last few weeks since Content Samurai has been launched. Some features that we didn't even know needed to be created. We didn't even know people were using Content Samurai in a certain way, and it was up to, and you guys contacted us and you filled us in on the loop, and yeah, it was awesome. We decided to do some mock-ups from feedback that we got for features that just aren't in the app that need to be in the app. So I'll show you guys some of the design treatments that we've actually made. So I've just pulled one down from a Google Doc that Dr. Anthony Fernando, you guys might know him as Dr. Anthony Fernando, but we just know him as Ant, so we'll call him Ant from here in, even though that's not his official title. So So here you'll see a mock-up for a new slide button, which is something that we didn't really think was needed because we had the insert slide break button, which is the one on the right-hand side in this menu that runs along the top of the slides. And we have a merge button at the bottom. And we would use that in the office. That would be our method of creating a new slide or moving text to a new slide. But it became pretty quickly apparent, pretty quickly, sorry, that we needed an actual add new slide button for how people were using the app. So lo and behold, we have a add new slide button. Now we had hoped to not show a mock-up, but actually show this in the app today. But unfortunately, we ran into a little hiccup yesterday during testing, which has delayed it till, well, I'm not too sure, whenever the developers actually knock this one out, which will probably be later today or maybe tomorrow. You'll see it in the app. But for now, it's just a mock-up, and it's about as simple as a mock-up can be. There's a new button up here, looks like a slide, and it's got a plus on it. You click that, and I'll move to the next image. You get a new slide, and the text is centered, and yeah. So that basically does exactly what you would think an add new slide button does. It adds a new slide. The next mock-up I wanted to show you guys, I'm actually pretty excited about. Now this one's custom themes. Yeah, so you log into your Content Samurai. Sorry, you start editing a video in Content Samurai, and where you come to the theme section, so you'll be in the slide section and in the themes, you'll see that there's a select theme tab and then a my themes tab. So if you switch over, oh sorry, so when you're in select themes, you can scroll down to the bottom and then click create a new theme. There's a create a new theme button at the bottom. It's this little green button here. When you click that, or sorry, I beg your pardon, I'm still getting familiar with these mock-ups myself a little bit. So if you switch over to the My Themes tab or from the Select Theme tab, you can create a new theme with this big green button. And what you get when you click that button is this new pop-up dialog box. You can name your theme, you can choose the background color, you can add an image to the background, which would repeat over all of your slides, which is something that a lot of users have been contacting us about. You can change the font style, text color, and the highlight color. So you can really customize your themes. In the drop-down boxes for the color pickers, there will be a color picker. So you can really customize it to say like a color of your company or your website, and you can really, yeah, match things up and make your videos look really nice. Once you save that theme there, sorry, I'll switch back. Once you click save theme in the bottom right hand corner, this little green save theme button, that's it, it'll be saved. So it's going to be super easy for customizing a theme to, yeah, let's say your website or your company, and then just coming in and just pumping out videos really easy that look very similar to that, that look exactly like that theme and very similar to each other. So that one I'm actually really excited for. I can't wait to get that stuff into the app. It's something I've been waiting for my videos for a really long time. Does that mean, yeah, so number 75. The next one is the upload voiceover feature. This has also been a really sought after feature. A lot of people have contacted us about this one. They either want to have, at the moment there's a bug that sort of prevents people from making silent videos, whether they have if they don't have a microphone in the app. So this will also help that bug, and it will also help with people who have an MP3 recording of their video, or someone who wants to go out to Fiverr, or hire a voiceover artist and get an MP3 version of their video, of their script, and just upload it straight into Content Samurai. So this will hopefully answer all of those problems. So the first thing you're going to see when you come to the voice section, which I've just noticed is changed to voice. I'm not sure if that's actually going to be a thing or if it's going to say audio, but let's say it's going to be voice, just like in this picture. You're going to have three options. You can record the voiceover, which is exactly how Content Samurai works at the moment. You can upload an MP3. So this isn't going to be a feature that lets you upload audio snippets for each section. It's going to be one track, basically. So you can upload an MP3 of your entire recording, or simply just have no voiceover. You can still have background music if you like, but there's going to be no voiceover, no voiceover option. So this is the first option for recording your voiceover. Now, this stuff's kind of still up in the air. There's a lot of discussion back and forth between the team. Oh, sorry, I accidentally skipped screen. So there could be an option here where there's a little microphone symbol in the bottom right-hand corner. You'll notice in the top left corner, there's the audio level bar is missing, and it's down to the bottom right-hand corner in the form of a microphone, and it will fill up with the green bar. And if you see that little symbol in the bottom right-hand corner here turn red, you'll know that you're speaking too loud, or you need to duck up from the mic a little bit, or maybe stop yelling down the mic like I tend to do. The next option, it's the same thing. This is just an audio level type indicator, but this one has 5 bars below the microphone that let you know if you're speaking too loud or too soft. There's another indicator here of the exact same thing, just left of the mic, and it can tell if you're too loud or too soft. This would be the mock-up for uploading your own voice. So it's either drag and drop, just like the images section. You can drag an MP3 from your desktop and drop it in here, and it will start to upload. And then you can attach it to your video, or you can click this button here, choose a file to upload, and you can navigate to where your audio recording is. You can click on it, and then it will start uploading the voiceover, just like in this picture right here. And then, then obviously it's going to process and then be done, and you can preview your video. And once you come to the preview section here, you'll notice that this is completely changed as well. So the background music that was in the audio section, which I think might be changed to the voice section from earlier slides, this is where you choose your music, or the upload music, which is actually the next one I want to show you guys. So let's ignore the upload music button for now. All the voiceover volume and the music volume will be in this section, in the preview section. So this is where you start to really fine tune the audio levels. All right, and the next and last design treatment that I wanted to share with you guys this week is the upload music, which you probably would have seen the button in my last in the last mock-up. So this upload audio, so the upload voiceover, just like I showed in the last one, you come to the voice section, you click upload voiceover file, and you can navigate to where it is and start uploading it. Actually, it looks like pretty much everything I'm showing in this slide was covered in the last one too. So in the preview sections where you choose your music, and you can fine tune the audio levels in here. So I'll skip by this one because we've pretty much seen it already. All right. So that was they were the mock-ups I wanted to share with you guys. And the other thing I wanted to share with you guys as well is just a few tips with using the app, which I find being in support that like a lot of people don't know about these really, really cool, simple features. So what I want to do is I want to show you guys exactly how to use like keyboard shortcuts. I probably don't have time for all 3, and I'll save one for next time. But I wanted to show you guys formatting with keyboard shortcuts in Content Samurai videos. So what I'll do is I'll switch over to a video that I made earlier, and I'll start editing it in Content Samurai. And in the slide section, there are some issues that we've found with these buttons that run along the top of the slides. So the bold, italics, and underline sometimes can be a little bit cheeky when you click the button and it doesn't work. It worked that time, but sometimes it can be a little bit cheeky. So I wanted to show you guys that if you use Command and B on a Mac or Control B on Windows computer, you can just bold words as you go. And that's what I do. I'll look at the whole slide. I'll find out which ones need to be bolded or underlined or italics, and I'll use a keyboard shortcut, and it works every time. So for the keyboard shortcuts, yeah, Command B if you're on a Mac, and Control B if you're on Windows will bold. Command U if you're on a Mac, or Command U if you're on Windows will underline. And Command I and Control I for Windows will italicize the letters. Now, this is a really, really quick way of going through, and if you're like me, I just bold every word every now and again. Just double click it, bold, move on. Double click it, bold, move on. And that's how I do it, basically. So I just wanted to show you guys that, because I know these buttons can be a little bit tricky sometimes. The other thing I wanted to talk to you guys about, now I'll need to delete a audio recording. So what I'm going to do is click down here and add a word in, just a random word, because changing anything on the slides after you've done recording will delete your recording, as you guys know. So I just added in a word there just to delete the recording. I'll switch back and delete it so the sentence actually makes sense. Okay, so that's back. Look, that makes sense now. But the audio recording has been deleted, which is exactly what I wanted, so I could show you guys how I record. Now, some of you guys will record this sentence by clicking here, clicking on the record button, waiting 3 seconds for it to count down. You read out what you see here, and then a lot of people, to stop their recording, will click the stop button, which is completely fine. It makes perfect sense to click the stop recording button. But unfortunately, because some mouses have really loud clicking mechanisms in them, the click will be picked up at the end of the recording, which sucks. Which, when you make your video, it's not great. You hear a click every now and again. It takes away from the message you're trying to get across in your video, and you just don't want that. So the keyboard shortcut for this to stop would be pressing the right arrow key or the space bar after you finish recording. Another thing you can do with the right arrow key or the space bar is start your recording. So you'll notice this has no previous recording because I just deleted it. I can press the space bar. Oh, sorry, that went down. I accidentally scrolled. So I press the space bar and it stopped, and it starts to record. So I could say, working remotely is an amazing privilege that comes with today's jobs. Being able to fit work around home life is great if you have kids, need to be home for a delivery or technician, or if you like traveling. Now I want to stop my recording. So instead of moving my mouse up here and clicking stop, you can hit the right arrow key or space bar. So I'll hit the right arrow key and it stops the recording. Now that will completely eliminate the clicking noise. So if you haven't recorded anything before, if these were all blank recordings, you could make your way through the whole recording phase by clicking right to start the recording. You record your voice. Then you click right on the arrow key or space bar to stop it. And then you click right to move to the next section. And then you click right again to start it. And then you read your recording, and then you press right to stop again. And you can make your way through the whole recording section, you know, given that you don't have to re-record anything, pretty quickly. So another thing I wanted to touch on as well is that the right arrow key will not re-record anything. It won't start a re-recording. So if I was to hit the right arrow key now, it's just going to move through my audio section. It's not going to start an audio recording, a re-recording again, because we didn't want to accidentally wipe out any really, really good recordings that you'd done. So to start a re-recording, every time you need to click this re-record button, which is down here, which my mouse is over right now. You can still stop your recording with the right arrow or the space bar to prevent the clicking noise, but you can't start a re-recording with the right arrow or the space bar. Okay, all right. Now that's it. That's all we really have time for the content section. So we're gonna have to keep things rolling just because we don't have a great deal of time left. We've only got about 15 minutes left. So we wanted to open up the floor for questions and answers. So this is the Q&A section. A lot of you guys had left, well, a decent amount of you guys had left questions on our webinar page, which was awesome. Which was a really awesome thing for you guys to do. So that page that we went to where we let you guys know that there's a webinar coming up that you could register for. There was a little section at the bottom, a little Facebook comment section where you guys left some questions. So for this question and answer section, we are going to we're going to start the ball rolling by answering these 6-7 questions. But please, guys, if you could write whatever questions you have in the Q&A section, we'll also circle back to those questions and see if we can't answer everything in one go. Okay, so do you want to take the first one, Tom? I need to grab a drink. The first question in the Q&A section.
Yep, sure thing. So someone posted the question of how do they drive more visits to their website through video? Um, Basically, that question could take an hour to answer. So rather than us give you just a really basic one, we thought we would actually give you a link to something that we use internally and that we give to our customers, which is our YouTube cheat sheet. And if you look in the handout section of the GoToWebinar control panel, you should see the YouTube SEO cheat sheet available to download. Now, if you don't see it, please contact us after the webinar at support@contentsamurai.com and we'll send you a link to download it. But basically that YouTube SEO cheat sheet contains all the steps you need to do to make sure that you've got everything in the right place on your video that's on YouTube, which will in the end help you get more traffic to your website. So please check it out. And if you have any other questions after having a read through it, again, reach out to us in support and we'll do our best to answer it.
Yeah, that's great. I think just in case anybody can't see the handout section, we'll also send a link out, or we'll send that out. We'll send a link out to the YouTube SEO cheat sheet when we email people about the video. I think that might be good too. We'll just cover all bases, make sure everybody has access to it as much as we can. Mind if I take back over, Tom?
Yep, go for it.
I didn't think you have an objection. All right, so the next one is browser support. A lot of people are passionate about not using Google Chrome, which is completely fine. I completely understand. We have a guy in the we had a guy. I think we've won him over to Google Chrome now, but he used to love Firefox, and we completely get that. People just like what they're used to, and they like what they like. But unfortunately, Content Samurai is a really, really powerful app. It has some really, really great features in it. And Google Chrome is currently the only browser that will support these features and is powerful enough, powerful enough to actually run something like Content Samurai. So as much as we would love to see other browser support, like Firefox, and if we had a lot of time and someone twisted our arm, maybe IE as well.
Your microphone is just playing up. Sorry, I'll take over while Wayne fixes his microphone. But yeah, basically, we would love to add support for different browsers, but at the moment, Google Chrome is the only one that has the technology under the hood to run Content Samurai. So as soon as it becomes available in other browsers, we'll hopefully add support for them. But at the moment, it's a Google Chrome only app. The next question was around image size limits. A few people have uploaded images and they haven't downloaded into the app correctly. Usually it's because the file itself is a really, really, really big image. And at the moment, there's a bit of a bug in the way that Content Samurai handles that. So we are working on an error message for those cases so that at least you guys know that the image is too big. But I believe the maximum image file size that Content Samurai supports is 5,616 by 3,744 pixels. We'll send that number around.
Really big.
Yeah, it's a huge image. So if you do find that you've got really big images, the best thing to do before you upload them is open them up in an image editor, either something that's installed on your computer or one of the free ones online. I think PicMonkey.com is one that you can resize images in and just make them a little bit smaller. Wayne, I think your microphone's back working, so I'll pass it to you while I collate some of the other questions.
Back working. All right, cool, no worries. Yeah, so just to touch on what Tom said there, if you find any problems with images, maybe look at the size. If it's really, really big, just make it smaller. It should work then. Okay, so the other question we had was, can I set a custom video length for videos? Now, this feature is definitely on our radar, but like I said at the start, it's not a feature that we originally thought about when we created Content Samurai. So it wasn't at the forefront of our thinking process or features that we wanted to add into the app. See, when you make silent videos, we actually base that off the average reading speed, which is 0.5 seconds per word. People find that that's too slow, which is completely fine. If you find it's too slow, it's probably too slow for you. But you can't edit the end of the video to make the video length any shorter. which is not something we really prepared for, like I said, when we were creating Content Samurai. But it's on our radar now. That feature's on our radar, and we know how popular of a feature it is. So you should see something like that in the app in the near future, definitely. Something that will be able to either shorten the length of the video or extend it a little bit more if you wanted to have the last slide just sort of linger around for a little bit. Maybe you had your company name or a phone number or something like that you wanted to make linger for a little bit longer. So yeah, so that feature is coming. It's on its way. Next, another question we had will there be more music tracks added? Now, as you guys probably saw in the mock-ups that I showed you, there's going to be an upload music feature. Did I show that one? Sorry, I might be getting confused with the upload audio track. But there's an upload music track feature coming. It's probably the quickest way to get new music into the app. We probably won't be looking at getting more tracks ourselves, apart from the 20 we use, even though we know they don't cover every video out there. But yeah, the feature to upload your own MP3 background track is one that's on its way, and that should help out a lot with doing that. So the last question, the last question from the Facebook comments is, do the music tracks loop on longer videos? Now this is a bug. I'll get in front of this and I'll let you know it's a bug. It's a problem it's kind of on our end, but it's only in the preview section. So if you make a really long video and the video goes longer than the background music, you'll notice that watching it in the preview section, the background music won't loop over. Now, obviously, yeah, like I said, that's a bug, it's a problem. But the good news is that when you download the video, the background music loops. The background music will play from start to end no matter how long your video is. It just won't show in the preview section, which is a little bit annoying, and we totally get that. We understand, we hear you guys, we're sorry. We'll get that fixed as soon as we can. But good news is that it's only in the preview section. So hopefully that helps out a little bit. All right, cool. So that's the end of the Facebook questions, and we'll just roll straight into the questions from this chat dialog box from the webinar. Before I do, let me just say thank you guys very much for asking your questions. It's awesome to hear from you guys in real time, and hopefully we can answer everything. So Scott says, how do we undo a merge or add slide? There's not an undo button. There's not an undo button in Content Samurai, which is a little bit annoying. I totally get that. But if you guys can see my screen, if you guys are still looking at my screen, I'm loading the slide section for one of my videos here, and I think it might be better for me to just show you guys how this is done. So let's say that you clicked in here just after the word privilege and before the word that. You clicked in there and you clicked insert slide break, right? So if you did a slide break there, there's no undo. If I do Command Z, it's not going to undo anything, which is the computer's, undo. But if you split it, just use the merge button again, and then it comes up. So split and merge, they work together really, they work together. If you split it and you don't like how it's split, just merge it back with the merge button. So splits all the way on the right in the menu that runs along the top of the slide. Merge is just below each slide. Where can we get a copy of the shortcuts? That's a really good question, Raymond. I don't know if you guys know about our help center. We have a help center, which we will send a link out to when we email everybody for the video. Maybe Tom, you could chuck it in the chat or chuck it somewhere or put it somewhere for the webinar people to get to right now. But we have a help center, which is a place that we have articles, videos that help you use the app. There's a copy of the shortcuts in there. It's just keyboard shortcuts. If you type in keyboard shortcuts, it should come up there. But yeah, we'll link out when we send a video. We'll have these questions and we'll link out to it as well.
I've just sent a link out. I hope to everyone.
Next question, David. You sent a link out?
Yeah.
You are doing really well at this webinar stuff. All right, cool. So Raymond had the question, where can we get a copy? Oh, sorry, that was the last question. David had a question. Can you integrate voiceover with sound in background? Can you integrate voiceover with sound in the background? Tom? I'm unclear.
I'm unclear, but I'm going to take a stab at this one and say I think David means, can you have a voiceover with music in the background as well, or possibly voiceover that has background noise. If you're talking about background noise as in something that's been recorded in a noisy environment, I'm going to hazard a guess and say no, you can't, because the system would probably struggle to pick up on your voice. If you're talking about uploading something that's got a music track in the background already, probably not as well. As far as I understand it, the system would need a fairly clear audio track in order for it to break it up and align it. So I could be wrong. I'm not sure if I'm answering the right question here, but I would say that you need to upload a voice track that's very clear, and it needs to be no background noise, whether it's people talking in the background or music.
Yeah, but if, and I might be missing the question too, if you're asking if you can have a voiceover with background music at the same time in your video, absolutely. Absolutely you can. It doesn't have to be a silent video with music. You can have voiceover too. Now, we are coming down to nearly the end of the webinar, which snuck up on us, especially with the 10 minutes talking where you guys couldn't hear us. So what I'm going to do is just try and pump through a few questions, even though we are going to answer everything in the email that we send out a link to in a bit. I'll just try and pump through a couple. Can you upload your own music with this feature? That's one of the features that are coming. You saw the mock-up. So yeah, that's on its way. Sharon asked, will you be adding the Ken Burns effect? Absolutely, we'll be adding that effect, Sharon. I can't wait for that effect. That's great. It makes the video 10 times better. If everyone who doesn't know what a Ken's burn effect is, it's like a scale in or like a pan in. It's the camera actually, the picture will scale up ever so slightly, but it's an awesome feature, and it keeps people glued into to your video, and it keeps them watching. Is there a preferable mic that is best to use? We really like using these Yeti mics. I'll try and show you. I've got like an arm to let it hang here with a shock mount, but it's a Yeti microphone. Can you pick yours up, Tom? And show the people. It's yours easier to pick up. They're really cool. Yeti microphone. You can get them on Amazon. We'll send out a link in the email to an Amazon link so you guys can look at them. They're a little bit expensive, but they cut out all the background noise. It's really, really cool. They're a cool mic. We really enjoy them. Greg asked, were there any updates to make it easier to modify the timing of the slides and audio to sync up better? Greg, my friend, that's one of we were running too long. I was going to show you guys the new feature. It's called record timing mode, or record timing. It's in the preview section here. If you guys can see my screen, I'm just heading to the preview section. The slides should sync up. The slides should sync up fine, but if you go a little bit off script and Content Samurai because Content Samurai is looking at the script, looking at the text on the slide, it's looking at the script and the recorded audio, and if it can't match them up because you went a little bit off script, it's going to go out of sync. I'll let this load up. What I might do is I'll knock up a video, guys. I'll knock up a video and I'll send out a link to that. So that'll answer your question, Greg. It's a really, really cool way. It's called record timing. It's right here. If you guys can see my screen, record timing, and I'll show you exactly how to use that in a video. Elizabeth asked, how often do you change layouts optimally? Oh, sorry. How often do you change layouts optimally? It really depends on the video. If you're asking how often do I change the layout, like throughout a video, to optimize it, to optimize, retention, it really depends on the video. Sometimes I really don't change the layout that much, and it all depends on the pictures or what you're trying to get across. If I have something I want to show, like a person or a product, I'll have the half and half. I'll have the product on one side and the description on the other side, or the person on one side and the description on the other side. If I have like a really, really nice picture, I will hide the text. I completely hide the text. I guess that's changing the layout a little bit. And very rarely, to be honest, do I ever use the text at the top and the bottom, although I do use it. It's very, excuse me, it's very, very rare. Okay, so Graham asked, I have a decent mic when I record, but I find that during the playback, the sound is not constant. Occasionally the sound quietens and then comes through again. That sucks. I thought it was me, but I've done many recordings of my life. Just wondering if you've come across this at all. Look, there's been some weird stuff, Graham. There's been some weird stuff with the recording. I can't say that it's definitely 100% Content Samurai, but it definitely could be. It could be Content Samurai. What I would suggest, if you wouldn't mind, is dropping us a line in support, and maybe we could link up and do a remote session. Maybe send you a couple of links to try out some things, and yeah, that might work for you. But I'm sure we could work this one out. If you can get in touch with support at what's the best one? support@contentsamurai.com. I'm sure we'll sort that out. So we've got 4 more questions, guys. 4 more questions. We're almost there. So Kate asked, is there a best size for images? There is, Kate. There is. We'll send out a link in the email to an article that I made, but Content Samurai videos are 1280 by 720. So if we're talking pixels and you want a full size image, 1280 by 720 pixels, that will be a full size image, and that's perfect. That'll come through really, really nice. If you want a half size image, you just take the 1280 and you chop it in half. So it's 640 by 720 pixels will be a perfect half size image. Yeah, but yeah, I'll send a link to a Help Center article that will explain that a little bit better than I just did. So Kevin asked, when you copy or close a previous video and you need to change a few words here and there, do I need to re-record all sections or just the slides with the changed words? Excuse me, sorry guys. Kevin, you just need to re-record that one little section if you change the words. That's all you need to do. Yeah, so it's only going to delete the audio section for where you make the changes. Okay, so Elizabeth asked, are you planning to include a slide sorter like on PowerPoint? We've had a lot of features, but I haven't heard of that one before. So possibly. I'm actually really unclear on what that is. Could you drop us a line at support@Content Samurai, please, Elizabeth, and we can go into detail about what that actually is and what it does. And yeah, if it's something that we need, then yes, we probably will include it. Okay, last question. Anthony asked, are there plans to edit the video slide styles so we can better match our brand style? Absolutely, dude, absolutely. We're going to have a custom theme option, which is coming really, really, really soon, and that's just going to be fantastic for customizing your styles or your themes to match your brand. Absolutely. Now, that was the last question that we can do in the webinar. We run it a little bit over, which is just totally cool. But there are heaps more questions, guys. And again, thank you so much for stopping by and asking your questions. Really, really sorry if we couldn't get to them right now. And we tried to answer as many questions as we could, but we will answer them all in the email. Everybody will get an answer. If you ask the question, you're going to get an answer. It just will probably come in the email if we haven't answered it already.
Yeah, definitely. One quick one before we go. Because we've run out of time, it might make sense for us to do another webinar in a couple of weeks or a few weeks from now. Is that something you guys would be interested in if we ran another one? Would you want to hear us ramble again? If you can give us some feedback on that, that would be awesome, just so we know whether you guys got value from this and if you want us to do it again.
So yeah, so as you guys know, this was all recorded. We're going to go away now, maybe have a little bit of a chat, come back after lunch, chop it up into a video, put that on a page, send out a link, answer all the questions that we didn't get time to answer. And yeah, that's it. Hopefully this was beneficial to you guys. Again, thank you so much for dropping by. It's been awesome. It was a bit of a disaster at the start, but we powered through and we got there. So yeah, thanks again, guys. We'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, guys. See ya.
Will I be able to brand my videos in future updates? Yes, absolutely. We're looking at allowing you to create custom themes to give you more control over the look and feel of your videos. Further down the track, we'd like to also implement something to allow you to add branding to the slides. If you have any specific branding features you'd like to see, please send them through to support@contentsamurai.com. Will you update the app to do a better job of automatically aligning the slides and audio? One of the bigger projects we've just started working on is a change to the back end of Content Samurai that aims to improve the synchronization between the script, the slides, and the audio. We know that some of our users have struggled to get the automatic synchronization working and have to manually adjust the timing, and we're looking to address this issue in the not too distant future. I'm finding it hard to reduce the video through Handbrake. Do you use any other program to reduce the file? On a Mac, we use ScreenFlow if we need to edit the video externally. On Windows, you can use Windows Movie Maker. You can find links to these two programs under this video. Is there any way to automatically create the same amount of space between slides? I find that the system expects me to record audio and gives me more space between slides than there needs to be. If I could designate, let's say, 5 seconds between each slide, that would be a huge time saver. At the moment, there isn't a way to do this kind of thing. Content Samurai takes the audio you record and trims it down so there's 0.5 seconds at the start and also at the end. There shouldn't be more than that before or after a recording. Theoretically, you could have the audio recording for a while before starting to talk, and if there isn't any background noise, Content Samurai will trim that recording down to when you actually start talking. If that's not happening for you, please reach out to us by emailing support@contentsamurai.com. When can we expect the upload voice feature? Whilst we'd love to give you an ETA, we aren't able to give one just yet. But rest assured, we're working towards getting this feature into the app as soon as we can. Regarding image size, are we limited to a certain size to fill a slide? You mentioned a huge image, but I noticed the image gets cut off for full slide and half slides unless you do certain sizes. There is a size limit to images, although it's massive. Each Content Samurai video is 1280 by 720 pixels. Any images larger than that will be scaled down to fit. There's a link to an article under this video with more information on images. Split button frequently doesn't work properly at the cue point. It often goes back to another point and breaks there. This is an intermittent bug that we're looking into. We haven't been able to work out the exact cause just yet, but it's something we're wanting to fix just as much as you guys. That being said, the issue has gone away for some users when they disable Chrome extensions. If you need help disabling Chrome extensions, contact us by emailing support@contentsamurai.com. Why would I want a half-size image? When we mention half-size images in the webinar, we were referring to an image that only fills up half the slide. If you change the layout of a slide, you can have half of the slide an image and half of the slide text. A half-slide image is 640 by 720 pixels. Are you planning to include a slide sorter like on PowerPoint? At the moment, we don't have any plans for that feature, but I've added it to our list now. And that was it. You made it to the end. If you found that video interesting and you want us to do another webinar soon, let us know in the comments section below this video. Also, don't forget to leave any questions you have about using the app.